Yo, what up? It's the Cosmic here. I wanted to do a live stream dash quick little video lesson on how I start making my weekly watch list. Um, so essentially, what I'll do is I'll clear out my weekly. Since I'm watching these still currently for my swing trades, and this is more of an investment, I'm going to keep it in here. Next, I'll go to my screener tool, my sub $10 scan, because I typically only trade under $10. You can collapse that, and then I just scroll through the list. Like, honestly, this is how, others do their watch list. They look at the movers that moved yesterday, if it's the first, second, third day that they moved, or whatnot. And what I will do is I will go here into my columns. We're going to do this until it gets fixed. We have to hide everything except for the symbol. And itself. And I'll go here and I'll just copy paste them. Start with Jack and just go all the way down. I know it seems like a lot of tickers, but I mean, this is why I make a weekly watch list versus, daily. Daily, I'll take essentially the top 10 movers. Weekly, since I have the whole weekend, I'll just, sit here and filter through them as I go along. And then what I want to do, this is showing after hours percent change from its close. So if it's a daily, I like to sit here and click my percent change and see which one has moved the fastest most in the after hours. So right here we have a perfect contender of what I would, if I was catching this before 8 o'clock, what I would do for overnight hold. So I'll pull over NR. I'll kind of look what at their key details. I want to know their float. If it's under 100 million, I consider that a low float and something that can be volatile enough for me to want to trade it. Look at the volume that it did. This is the volume that it's done at the end of the day. So this is just, my quick analysis, and then see what they have for news right here that they say President 2020 JP Morgan Energy Power and Renewables Virtual Content Conference. The conference they announced for the 16th. It's energy play. So we will look into it. That's something that I want to put some more detail into at the end of the weekend, before Monday, definitely. And then we'll see what their corporate statement is, their Form 8. We can always pull it out with this little box here and just kind of scroll through it. I'm not really looking to read every single word, just kind of what they're going to be talking about. And it initially, it's honestly is looking like they're posting their earnings. So, and going over COVID-19, how it impacted them and all that fun stuff. I'm not going to sit here and bore y'all reading through that. That's something that I do in my due diligence on the weekend, actually. This is just what I'm initially looking at. So with this, let's go ahead and show what I do in my next step. Say that these three are going to be my top contenders that I want to do. Typically I go with anything over that 10%, and the after hours. All these were 10% on the day, but 10% after hours is what I really like to look at on the overnight hold. I will go through all these tickers over the weekend to do a little bit more digging on them. But after I do my first key data analysis, if there's any catalyst, you know, kind of what does their basic 5-day chart look like, I will take it and I will go to E-Trade. And so that was NR. And with E-Trade, then I will then start to outline any key levels that I am noticing. So we bottomed out here at 207. It looks like we had another bottom here at around 2. So 207. Let's go to 1 month chart. All right, so monthly. Sorry for all the lines. These I'm getting to these here in a second. Actually, you know what? I'll go ahead and I can delete these so I can show you how to put them on. So from the monthly, what it looks like, honestly, is this is where COVID really impacted the whole economy. It looks like NR is trying to come back up. It tested its resistance right here at the 358. Down here it was way oversold after the market crash on the RSI. So, and then what we're seeing within the past few days, it actually kind of has this nice steady uptrend, but it got a little overbought. So, and right here on my MCAD, I'm showing a crossing. So it looks like it may be a reversal. So I'll take that in consideration, as well as any upcoming catalyst, to see if this is something that I want to keep an eye on. It definitely is, because earlier this week it already retested its highs. And today the market the whole overall market just, you know, crapped out. Like, let's look at the SPY. And we'll just look at today. Like, I mean, it did had a nice little. It's been downtrending past 2 days, honestly. So we're evening out after we just kind of, you know, got back into the groove of things, and then it's just starting to crack. Thought it was going to rebound, but coming into here, but it didn't. And we'll see what happens. But right now the whole SPY is choppy because of, you know, protests, second wave of COVID outbreaks. Like, they're opening up everything, saying we're all good and safe to go out, and then Corona comes back through with a second wave. So as far as all my stocks are doing, I'm actually technically up unrealized, like about 250 in the day on the day. I mean, it's negative 746 overall, but that's, you know, my fault for building my position too large too quickly. I was getting into a strategy that I didn't completely understand until after I got into it and understood the dangers of being in it. So that's GNUS. I do still expect to blow up on Monday. I highly expect this thing to blow up on Monday. They're launching their cartoon channel. It's on so many different credible media outlets. I'm surprised it hasn't just continuously gone. And here in the RSI, you see that it's every time it tries to, you know, ramp up, it's being overbought. So too many people are buying all at once, preventing it to, you know, truly break out. And then with Mark, it's Mark. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm holding into the earnings. Their earnings were actually finally released here on Benzinga. If you get my Watchlist news, actually told me right here. Essentially, they're holding their shareholders meeting on July 23rd, 2020. So that's not this coming up Tuesday, but next Tuesday. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to essentially do the same play as I should have stuck to with the last one. Hold up till earnings, stay out of earnings, don't chase the spike if it spikes into earnings, and depending on if the earnings are good or not, hold and swing, carry some momentum to see if I can get a nice, dip buy, because, buy the rumor, sell the news. And not, I mean, they reported bad earnings and they crashed. Doesn't mean that if they report good earnings coming up that they're going to go up. They can go straight down after good earnings just because people are tired of listening about them. And then my one of my final bag, which is XBAW. XBAW actually was kind of surprising me today. This was a complete test on my normal strategy. Normally I wouldn't hold through a reverse split. I wouldn't even give it a second thought. I typically hear reverse split and I'm like, oh, bad. Reverse split, bad. But it did what I kind of thought it would do, kind of downtrend off the fear of the reverse split, and then it uptrended going into the end of the day yesterday, and I didn't really expect this uptrend for at least another week or so, but it's showing some relative good strength. So I am going to be keeping an eye on this. I'm still in it, but I'm hoping by the time they'll be releasing more PR about their airport opening up, being in airports as they open up, and showing more contracts with airports, because them being in JFK is no joke. If they're really going to get serious about this whole COVID thing and COVID actually becomes a second wave, people are already tired of being in the house. So airports will be looking at this as a great way to provide, a sense of safety and a way to keep operating. That's just my opinion, and that's what I think. Now let's actually, I'm going to hit a